Start with our very first question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and share a bit about your journey?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dorothea. I'm currently in New York. I am a performance artist, an actress, producer, writer, anything that has to do with the arts, I'll dabble in all of them. And currently, I am a co-founder of a production company here in New York called Riffraff NY, and now a partner of URYou.
How did you first connect with URYou, and what about its mission resonated with you?
So the first time that I connected with URYou, I was talking to my best friend, Charles, of course, who created URYou, and she was telling me that it was going to be a website or a resource that would serve inspiration to a lot of people, like serve inspirational stories, become a resource for, let's say, things that immigrants may need, like how to apply for a license or a visa or whatnot. And when she was talking to me about that, I was like, oh, that's something that I want to be a part of, because during the pandemic, I started teaching a lot of people how to get an artist visa if they're internationals or an immigrant artist. And so when Charlene told me all about this, I was like, oh my gosh, it feels like our advocacies are connected and intertwined. So when I talked to her even more about URYou, I told her, hey, can I actually tag along? And I am lucky that she said yes, so here we are.
What does unleashing the remarkable you mean in your own words?
So for me, unleashing the remarkable you has always been taking the courage to show up and show what's inside. So with my journey throughout life, I've always tried to pursue things that I love. So, of course, Charlene and I were classmates in college back in the Philippines. And because I loved acting so much, I pursued an acting career here in New York. And I've been living here now for almost 10 years, doing the thing that I love. And with that, I've realized that I didn't just want to act, but I also wanted to create shows and produce shows and opportunities, not just for myself, but for other artists, especially immigrant artists. So my passions grew from just being on stage to creating community in the arts. And so I think unleashing the remarkable you is really never second guessing yourself and being the biggest cheerleader of yourself to take courage and leap greatly.
Do you see parts of your personal story reflected in what URYou stands for? I think we kind of brushed up on this.
I guess I would like to go back into when I was still starting out here in New York City. I think one of the biggest challenges that I faced was getting that artist visa during the pandemic. So there's a lot of things that one needs to give to the US government in order to get the artist visa, and one of that was having a body of work in New York. And the thing was, during the pandemic, everything was shut down. So I was in the middle of rehearsing for a big show. It was going to be a worldwide premiere at the Flea Theater. And I was so excited for it because it felt like such a big break for me. And during our technical rehearsals, they said, sorry, we're shutting down. Maybe we'll be back in a month. But unfortunately, the show never happened. And I was so devastated. When I was trying to apply for my artist visa, a lot of things fell through. A lot of my projects, my sponsor, some of my shows and whatnot. And I was really like at a very low point. But I think at that time, I was like, no, even though this is happening worldwide, there's a pandemic and whatnot, I still need to push through. And so it really needed like some digging and some pushing in order to like go through all of the requirements and to create my own shows, find another sponsor, find those recommendation letters and deal memos and whatnot. And I finally got the visa. And so it was really just like, okay, even when the world is crumbling around you, I think there's a lot that one can unleash in order to, climb up the rubble. So I think that is me digging through what unleashing the remarkable you can be.
What has been one of the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome it?
Okay, I know we just talked about like that challenge that I had, but that was like 2020. So let's think of something more recent. And a few months ago, I had a kitchen accident where I burned my eye. And like I had first-degree burns on my eyeball, the skin of my eye and everything. And it was like one of the most painful experiences that I've ever gone through. I couldn't close my eyes because like the skin hardened because of the burns. So, but then whenever I tried to move it, it also felt like piercing hot needles and I couldn't see anything. And so like for I think almost a week, I was blind in one eye, and I had to go through like 3 doctors. The first 2 doctors that I went to with my eye were so scared to touch my eye that they needed to refer me to another doctor and another doctor. Then hopefully the 3rd doctor was like, okay, let's do something with that eye. Let me give you some medicine and whatnot, and let's see after like a week or 2 how it goes. And so during that 1 week of not seeing anything and unable to open both my eyes, because whenever I opened this eye, the other eye just would really hurt. So I had to keep them closed. And it was really such a challenge for me not to like spiral downward and get depressed and whatnot. What I love is that the universe was so helpful, because the day before the accident happened, I was listening to this podcast by Dr. Joe Dispenza about meditation and how it can really heal oneself. So I really went hard into meditating and thinking positive thoughts. And once I got back to the doctor that next week, he was so shocked that I was like healing rapidly, and my eye was gonna get back to normal, and that the skin around my eye was finally closing. And I was like, wow, okay, so it's really meditation and positive thoughts, and really not letting yourself spiral even when things seem grim. Oh, so now I'm like thinking about that experience, and I'm like, my goodness, I can't believe that happened. And thank goodness, I don't know, God, universe, like for the synchronicities in life. Whew. At one point, I was like, okay, if the eye is gonna stay burnt and like it's gonna become like this weird thing, maybe I can become like a character actress where, you know, I can like do the weird scary characters. I was like, okay, maybe that's how I can like, you know, position myself in the acting world.
Okay, just for the sake of people who might be curious about that meditation, how long were you doing it for? The meditation?
Oh my goodness. Like at least 4 hours a day. And that was at least. I know there were days that if I could meditate from once I got up until I fell asleep, I would. And I think that happened like once or twice during that week. I was just constantly meditating, constantly thinking about my healing, positive thoughts, like really surrendering to a bigger power, and like knowing that, you know, I'm held and I'm safe even through that ordeal, that painful ordeal, my goodness. And to be honest, I'm the kind of person that spirals when I feel weak. But ever since I've started like a meditation practice, I've been more conscious and aware of like, okay, I'm starting to spiral. Let's see how I can distract myself and like change the energy of that. So whoever is listening to this, if you think that you're also experiencing the same events or circumstances where you tend to spiral after like a bad situation, then I would suggest trying meditation. You never know.
What drives you in life? What keeps you going on the tough days?
I'm still constantly looking for that answer, but right now it's really the people that I love. I think that being able to care for them, create a safe space for them, being able to help them also unleash themselves is really what drives me. I've noticed that when I go on selfish mode, it's easy for me to be disheartened. But then when I change the spotlight from myself to the people that I love around me, then the energy for life and for working and striving just like exponentially grows. And so I think at the end of the day, it's really community. I think the people that I love and care for, that's what really drives me and keeps me going. I always imagine like a spotlight, especially so like when there's a spotlight on me, I'm like, oh, I know I'm being self-conscious and I'm only thinking of myself. And so I really visualize this spotlight going from me to another person, and it helps me so much because then I'm not focusing on myself. I'm actually focusing on this other person, and I'm drawn to their story, what they're doing, how I can be of service. Like, I don't know, the spotlight visualization is super helpful.
How do you define growth for yourself?
I think it's really the little things. To be honest, it's actually quite hard to see one's own growth. I think that one has to be super conscious about the little things. And again, I'm gonna go back to my meditation. And the way that I think about things and how I've been able to step away from a lot of like negative thoughts or emotions, like even being able to catch those things for me is like, oh, I feel like I'm growing. Let's say earlier this year, I've been going through a lot of heavy things. So I had loved ones passed away, just a bunch of things happening. Like when it rains, it pours. And there were days where I would really just be in bed and I just couldn't move because like I'm so overwhelmed by the sadness, the depression of what's going on in my life that it's very paralyzing. And then right now I am like presently I am still going through a lot of things, but because I'm so conscious of them through meditation, I'm like, okay, I know I'm lying down right now. I really have to push myself to get up and like move, distract myself. So I know like last week I was again in a spiral and I would have like spiraled the entire day. But after 2 hours of spiraling, I was able to like get up and do some yoga. And after that, I was like, okay, I can go move on with my day. And so I still spiral, but I think for me, the growth of like even just being conscious about those things and really doing baby steps to get away from that is already what I think growth is.
And I will agree with what you said about being self-aware.
Yeah, and a lot of achievers are so self-critical. Like if it's not perfect, it's like it's the worst thing in the world. And so
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that I know that I suffer from. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything needs to be like top tier, perfect, or else it's just not. I've been failing. And so that's why I've been really trying to change that narrative inside my head. And also like I know you're such an achiever too, and so that's why I always also tell you like, okay, don't be self-critical, it's time to let go. So it's like I feel like whenever I talk to you, I talk to me as well.
I was gonna say, you have helped me with that.
I know.
You have helped me with that because definitely I'm
Yeah.
the, kind of the same way where, oh my gosh, it needs to look perfect, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. And I think, and I have read so many books about it as well, where it says it doesn't have to be perfect, you just need to do it. Because oftentimes, perfection actually delays you from doing it. Kasi nga,
Yes.
gusto mo perfect
I
bago mo ilabas.
know.
So, ang nangyayari, ang tagal. You keep it longer. So, I've actually learned that from you. So, thank you.
Oh my
I have
goodness. Like, to be honest, like when you were telling me everything that you have already ready and you're like, oh, but I just need this and this. And I was like, no, you're so ready. It's already there. And the thing is, it's so easy for us to see that with other people, but it's so hard to see that with ourselves, you know?
Is there a moment in your life where you felt, this is where I truly belong?
Yes. So, once I got to New York, with everything that has happened, all the challenges and whatnot, I then found myself starting to create first shows for myself and other immigrant artists. And so we would be doing a lot of self-produced shows together, Zoom shows during the pandemic, hybrid experimental shows that could work, especially when people had to distance themselves. And as I found myself doing these things constantly, and a lot of people who were also like immigrants and non-immigrants who were artists would come to me and say, hey, I have this show, would you like to produce it? Or hey, can we do a festival? Like, I just had a lot of energy coming into what I was doing, and I was like, oh wow, this is flowing to me easily and naturally. I'm not looking for people. I am finding people left and right who want to do these things with me. And so I thought, oh my goodness, this feels right. And then I had a friend, his name is Joe Staten. He's from London, another great immigrant actor, producer, writer. And he came to me and was like, would you like to create a theater company together and make it official, where we just help immigrants, non-immigrants and whatnot create work, be a playground for actors and writers and directors? And I was like, yeah, that sounds up my alley. And so it happened. We're constantly creating festivals and shows. And one of our mission is that we will always hire 50% immigrant actors or artists in our shows. Because again, like a lot of immigrant artists, unfortunately, because of like their background, the way they speak, their accent, don't get hired. And so I was like, no, let's change the narrative and really mix everyone together and, highlight voices that may be marginalized, and also show a New York audience and a global audience that, hey, a global cast is possible and it can really make a story a lot richer. So that's where I felt like, oh, found it.
If you could look back at your younger self, what advice would you give?
Ooh, okay. Yes.
Dorothea.
Oh my God. So, as someone who really self-proclaims as a Virgo, the younger Thea likes to plan and hit points. I remember my acting teacher would say, you know what, when you do your monologue, I see you trying to hit your marks. And what I mean by that is like, okay, by this word, I need to be crying already. By this word, I need to be like really, I have released everything and I'm like so tired and whatnot. So I'm always trying to hit points rather than discovering what life has to offer. So I think, and what I mean by that is the monologue can be so organic. Like, it can show me different stories, but because I'm always planning and trying to hit these things, I don't see the journey and the surprises that will get me there. And that's how I used to operate in life, and I still feel like I get into that habit as well from time to time now, but I'm really being more conscious. But like, my advice would be, Thea, try not to hit your points and enjoy the journey and see what comes out in that journey. Maybe if you don't cry at that word and see what feelings you get out once you reach that word, maybe that might even be a better moment, a moment filled with truth and clarity, and a life filled with surprise. So yeah, let's say if you give yourself points to hit, like, okay, by 21 I should have graduated college. By 25 I should be a manager. By 30 the house and kids and whatnot. And like, when I saw myself trying to hit these marks and really forcing my way to hit them, I was so tense, I was so unhappy, I was so rigid. And the older that I get, the more I realize that, I should like really try to let go of hitting it and enjoy the journey and what life has to offer. So like, yeah, to really like erase those marks, erase them.
I love that. No, I love what you said. Kasi that's so typical nowadays, diba? I think we've kind of brushed on this on my video last time.
Yes.
By this time, kailangan ganito na yung position. And then for you, if you haven't hit that, it's like hindi siya success for you.
I know.
You know, but it doesn't have to be that way. As long as you're enjoying life and being in that moment instead of focusing, oh my gosh, 30 na ako, wala pa rin akong family, ano ba yan? Maano ka lang lalo mo lang madadown yung sarili mo instead of focusing what's in your life right now and enjoying that. Kasi everything happens in its own perfect timing naman.
Yes, and we are all so unique that we all can't have the same cookie cutter life. And that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, felt the need to fit the mold. But again, we're all so different that I feel that we need to learn how to accept that and see what is our unique journey.
What's something people would be surprised to learn about?
I had an event, I think last month, and one of my classmates came to that event, and it was her first event that she went to, where I had a lot of my other friends, and she was so surprised because on her left she would ask people, oh, how do you know Thea? Oh, she's in our juggling club. And then she would speak to her right, how do you know Thea? Oh, she's my student in taekwondo. And then in front of her, she would be like, how do you know Thea? Oh, she's in our running club. And so she was like, I'm so surprised. She's like Miss Extracurricular. And I think I really love to fill my downtime with so many different activities because it gives me so much joy to be surrounded by so many different people and to like be immersed in what they're into, learn a new skill and whatnot. And so I think people would be quite surprised by the amount of extracurricular activities that I do.
That one I was surprised that you did, because like taekwondo is an entirely different form of activity, you know, like it's not anything related. I mean, I guess it can kind of be, but I was surprised to find out about that.
Yeah, well, it really stemmed from the pandemic. New York was quite harsh, especially to Asian presenting people. And so I had a lot of instances where people would chase me and really like swear and whatnot, like wish ill will towards me, and really felt unsafe. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I need to learn a skill that makes me feel like I have agency to feel safe. So I did go into Taekwondo, really, because that was the root cause. But thankfully, I never had the chance to practice what I've learned. But I know that when the things get sketchy sometimes in the subway, rather than, oh no, I'm gonna die. Now in my head, I'm like, okay, just ready your feet, ready your legs, get ready to kick. So in that way, it's like just giving myself some agency.
It's quite saddening that you had to do that. That just because of the way you look, people felt that they had the right to judge you as if they know you. That really saddens me when you said that. Like, just because someone looks Asian, right? Like that look, it gives them the feel that, oh yeah, I can hate on this person just because of that. Like, they don't even know you. They don't know who you are. They haven't talked to you. It's just the way you look.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I feel that URYou is such a good avenue to like change, at least hopefully change some mindsets, change some thoughts, and get people to know that actually everyone is quite remarkable. And if we give people a chance and not give up on them, you never know, you might actually find like a loving person, a caring person, a person that's willing to protect and advocate for you. But if you judge people based on their looks right away, you never know.
If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Extreme. I think everything that I do has to be in the extreme. Like, if I'm gonna like want something, I'll extremely go for it. Another word to describe myself would be an optimist. I think that at the end of the day, I do feel like everything is gonna work out. Even during the hardest of days where it's just so hard to get out of bed, I know deep down inside it's like everything is gonna be okay. It's gonna turn out all right. So like, I know I have a lot of friends who are doomers, who are like, oh, the world is gonna like blow up and like we're all just gonna, like humanity is gonna wipe themselves out with what's happening and whatnot. And I was like, no, that I don't believe that. I feel like people will really try to, save each other and really change things when things go haywire. I mean, look at what we're doing right now. So like, and I don't feel like we're the only ones trying to do this. So just the fact that there are people who want to see the beauty and the goodness in each person in the world, I feel like eventually things are gonna be okay. Last but not the least, I think that I would describe myself a cheerleader. Like when I know someone is passionate about something, I always want to make sure that I'm there to like, yes, it's gonna happen. Don't you dare like feel like it's not. I'm your number two person. So, and especially when an idea is so great, I really love to make sure that that person doesn't backtrack on what they've imagined. I want them to like really go for it. So that's why I'm like, yes, I'm a cheerleader for myself and for other people too.
It's so funny because when someone asks you to describe yourself, it is rough,
Oh
right?
my
To think
gosh,
about what to say
I
about yourself.
know.
While you were thinking, ang dami ko na agad naisip about it. One of them was passionate. And I've said that before kasi no matter how many challenges you've faced, talagang sobra kang passionate na tao. You're not gonna let anything get in the way of what makes you happy, which is yung performing, right? Kahit ano pang mangyari, talagang just passionate. You are beautiful inside and out. I appreciate that. I appreciate the commitment, the passion, all that. Like talagang na-appreciate yan. Dude, I mean, we're like in our app, like the pitch. We're like sending each other.
I know. It's like, okay, send encouragement, send hugs.
And you know, it's so funny with this freaking tiny app.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes me happy when I see that.
So the app that we're talking about, everyone who's watching or listening, is called Finch.
Finch.
Which is like a Tamagotchi, but for
Yeah.
self-care.
Self-care.
Yeah.
I love it. I super love it. And see, at the end of the day, self-love pa din siya. It has something to do with that.
No, I'm like, I love sending hugs,
Hugs.
like encouragement thoughts, water to you through this app. Like, it's just a way to like, it's a cute way to, you know, show some love to.
Yeah, and especially nowadays kasi ang lalayo natin sa isa't isa. Diba?
Yes.
I mean, you're all the way in New York, so I feel like
I know.
having that, we always have our phone with us. It's part of our lives at this point. So seeing that, it just, you know, it really does bring a smile to somebody.
I know. So cute.
All right, our next question. When you're not working or giving to others, how do you like to recharge?
Ooh, how do I like to recharge? Well, my partner and I love anime a lot, and we like hiking. So, what we do is hike in the morning till the afternoon somewhere, and then spend the evening watching anime. And that for me is like, what a recharge. I'm so happy when I have weekends like that. And we just did actually last weekend. We went, oh my gosh, you'll love this, Panga. So we went to Pennsylvania to like a wolf sanctuary where they take care of like wolves that are like either they were taken by people and not treating them well, or like wolf dogs that were like almost dying. And so this sanctuary would really take care of all of these wolves. And it was a hike to get there, but it was just like in nature and whatnot. And then once we got home, we watched anime. So I was like, now I feel like recharged for the entire week.
What impact do you hope to leave on the people around you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so right now I'm actually working on a show which is an interactive performance ritual. And the impact, so okay, let me think about how I want to phrase this. So, when my chosen mother died last December, I went to Ilocos, where she was from, and I was able to go through different folk rituals for mourning and grief that really helped me transmute these feelings into love and community. And I was like, wow, this was so life-changing for me. These rituals that I've never experienced before, but they were all so taxing, and it was like, but my body needed that because when my chosen mom died, I felt so heavy. My body felt so heavy. It was heavy with grief. And then once I went through these rituals with other people, with strangers, with close relatives, it was really a tiring 5 days of like doing processions, praying, sitting beside the coffin and not sleeping. And I don't know, after going through all of these rituals, it felt like the energy was moved or transformed into something heavy, into something lighter. So what I'm trying to do with the performance that I'm creating is that I want to make a ritual, a modern ritual for a New York audience and maybe like for a global audience, and have them go through the same transformation of like releasing grief from one's body. And there's this wonderful book called The Body Keeps the Score, where even though our minds forget trauma, our bodies remember. And one way to release the trauma from our bodies is really through creative work, work that really looks inward. So that could be like yoga, meditation, humming. And so I was like, oh, I really want to use performance and ritual and have like the same experiences that I had and share that with other people. So yeah, working on this ritual called Alay. Alay. Alay means offering in Tagalog. So yeah. No, alay is a Tagalog word which means to offer. So that's my offer to the world.
What's one message you'd love to share with anyone who might be struggling?
It's so hard because when one struggles, it feels like whatever people say, it's so hard to like embody or like get out of it. So I find myself being very careful about this. I'm like, what can I tell this person who is struggling? And I guess the only thing that I can share is that if you find yourself watching this video and you're in a place that you seem like you can't get out, know that I'm here as a resource for you to release or to vent, or a listening ear. And I know Charles is gonna be a resource too, and hopefully the community that URYou creates will be a resource to be able to hold someone who's struggling and won't feel so alone. So yeah, so yes, that's my message.
It's so easy, right, to just say, oh, kaya mo yan.
Yeah.
You know, go, right? Like, I mean, of course, we want to say that because we want to be comforting,
Yeah.
right? Pero minsan, what you just said is absolutely right. Sometimes, ang gusto lang naman ng ibang tao, you just someone to listen, someone to
Yeah.
talk to, someone to vent it all out,
Mhm.
na hindi magja-judge, na makakapag-share lang ng story nila.
Exactly.
Right? Like, it's easy to just say, oh, it's fine, it's gonna be okay. But when I was going through a tough time, right, that wasn't going in.
Yes.
It didn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know how many people have told me at that time na, oh, it's gonna be okay, you know, okay lang yan.
Yeah.
But for me, at that time, like,
like, you don't know what I'm going through. Like, you're not me.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna be okay, you know. And like I said, it's so easy. So I completely agree with what you
Yeah.
said about that. Nah, sometimes you just need a listening ear, and we're here. Our website,
Yes.
which we will add here, you can actually go in there and you can leave a message with us. We love to respond to whatever that may be, share your story, whatever that is. Because that's what this is about. URYou is all about creating this community where everyone is welcome. You know, your story is welcome. Whatever that may be, we don't judge. We all have different beliefs. And they're all welcome here.
Yes. Yeah.